Welcome!
One day, you stop and face a truth that you have tried to avoid for a long time, and this moment changes the way you see your English. You begin to understand that your excuses are not helping you grow, even if they sound reasonable in your mind. You say you are tired, you say you do not have time, or you say you will start tomorrow, but nothing really changes. While you wait, your English stays in the same place, and that begins to feel frustrating. In that moment, you see clearly that the problem is not your ability, but your actions. At the same time, you start to notice something important about life around you, and this thought becomes stronger each day. Life continues moving forward, with or without your effort, and it does not stop to wait for you. People keep learning, growing, and improving, even when you feel stuck in the same place. Opportunities appear and disappear, and they do not wait for the perfect moment in your life. This idea may feel uncomfortable, but it also helps you understand your situation better. It shows you that time is always moving, and your choices decide how you move with it. You also realize that waiting for the perfect moment has been one of your biggest mistakes, even if you did not see it before. You thought you needed more confidence, more time, or better conditions to begin, but that moment never arrived. Instead, you stayed in the same place, thinking that one day everything would feel easier. Now you understand that progress does not begin when everything is perfect. It begins when you decide to act, even when things feel difficult or incomplete. This new understanding changes the way you think about starting. This becomes the first important turning point in your journey, because now you decide to take responsibility for your English. You stop blaming your schedule, your tiredness, or your fear, and you begin to look at your own actions. You understand that even small steps can create change if you repeat them every day. So you start to practice, even when you do not feel fully ready. You listen, repeat, read, and speak a little, because you know that action is stronger than another excuse. This decision begins to change your direction. From that day on, you are not perfect, and you still face difficult moments, but something inside you becomes stronger and clearer. You are no longer waiting for change to come from outside, because you are creating it with your own effort. You begin to see that your voice can improve, your pronunciation can become better, and your confidence can grow. This is where your journey truly begins, because you made a real decision. You chose to stop hiding behind excuses and start building your English step by step. After you face the truth, you begin to notice something new about your daily habits, and this awareness changes how you see your actions. You realize that it is very easy to create excuses when English asks for your time and attention. You say you are tired, that you do not have enough time, or that your mind is not ready today. These reasons feel comfortable in the moment, and they help you avoid effort for a short time. But when the day ends, your English is still in the same place, and that feeling starts to bother you. Little by little, you begin to understand that excuses may feel good, but they do not give you real results. They give you comfort for a moment, but they do not improve your pronunciation or your confidence. You can repeat the same excuses many times, but they will never make your voice stronger. This realization becomes important because it changes how you see your choices. You start to see that progress may feel slower, but it gives something real back to you. This difference between comfort and growth becomes clearer each day. Then comes a moment that feels small but carries a strong meaning in your journey. One day, you look at your practice and think, "Today is not a good day to study," and this thought feels very real. Your body feels tired, your mind feels distracted, and stopping seems like the easiest choice. For a moment, you almost accept this idea and decide to do nothing. But deep inside, you know that this moment matters more than it seems. It is not only about one day, but about the habit you are building. Instead of stopping, you make a different choice, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. You sit down and begin with something simple, like listening to a short audio or repeating a few phrases. The practice is not long, and it is not perfect, but it is real and honest. As you continue, you begin to feel a small but important difference inside you. You see that action, even a small one, is stronger than another excuse. This moment shows you that progress begins when you move, not when you wait. After this experience, your way of thinking begins to change in a deeper way. You understand that excuses may feel easy, but progress feels better because it creates real change in your life. Every time you act instead of delay, your English grows a little more, and your discipline becomes stronger. You no longer depend only on motivation, because now you trust your actions. This is where your growth becomes more stable, because you are no longer choosing comfort. You are choosing progress, even in small steps. After some time, you begin to understand something that changes the way you act every day, and this idea becomes very important for your progress. Comfort feels good, but it does not move you forward, and it does not help your English grow. When you always choose what is easy, your learning stays slow and your confidence does not improve. At first, this truth feels difficult to accept, because comfort is natural and familiar. But little by little, you begin to see that real progress needs effort, even when effort feels uncomfortable. So you start to act in a different way, even on days when your energy is low or your mind feels unsure. You sit down and practice anyway, even if you feel tired or distracted. You listen to short English audio, repeat simple phrases, read small texts, and speak a little out loud. These actions are not perfect, but they are real, and they begin to create change inside you. You stop waiting for the perfect moment and begin using the moment you already have. This shift starts to build a stronger habit in your routine. At first, your pronunciation still feels weak, and your answers are not always fast or clear. You may feel slow, and sometimes you may think you are not improving enough. But because you continue every day, your mouth starts to learn the sounds more naturally. Words that once felt difficult begin to come out with less hesitation. Your mind also begins to respond faster, because it becomes more familiar with the language. This progress is not fast, but it is steady, and you can feel it growing inside you. This becomes an important turning point in your journey, because your actions start to change your thinking. Before, you waited too long before starting, and that made everything feel heavier. Now, you begin to act first, and your thoughts become clearer after you begin. You no longer spend too much time thinking about stopping, because you are already moving. This habit reduces fear and builds confidence at the same time. You start to see that action is stronger than doubt. From that point on, you are no longer controlled by the need for comfort in the same way as before. You still feel tired or unsure sometimes, but those feelings do not stop your progress. You understand that action creates improvement, and improvement creates motivation later. Because of this, you move forward with more strength and less hesitation. You begin to trust your process, and your English continues to grow step by step. This is how you build not only better language skills, but also a stronger version of yourself. There comes a time in your journey when the days begin to feel heavier, and everything seems more difficult than before. You sit down to practice, but your mind feels tired and your body does not want to cooperate. Simple sentences take more effort, and even listening feels slower than usual. You start to think that maybe you are not improving, and this thought can make you feel weak. These are the days that test your decision, not your ability. On these hard days, stopping feels like the easiest choice, and comfort becomes very attractive again. You think about taking a break, delaying your study, or returning to your old habits. Your mind says that one day without practice will not make a difference, and this idea sounds very convincing. But deep inside, you begin to understand something important about these moments. These are not the worst days of your journey, they are the most important ones for your growth. This is the second strong climax of your story, because your choice now has real meaning for your future. If you stop, your habit becomes weaker, and your progress slows down again. But if you continue, even with little energy, you build something stronger inside you. So you decide to practice, even if it is only for a short time and with simple actions. You listen, repeat, read, and speak, not because it feels easy, but because it matters to you. As you continue, you begin to feel a new kind of strength growing inside you, and this feeling changes how you see yourself. You are not acting with excitement or strong motivation, but with discipline and purpose. Discipline keeps you moving when your feelings are not helping you at all. Each hard day you complete becomes proof that you can continue even when things are difficult. This proof is powerful because it builds real confidence inside you. After some time, you realize that these difficult days helped you more than the easy ones. They taught you patience, consistency, and the courage to continue without perfect conditions. Your English improves, but something deeper also grows inside you as a person. You become someone who does not stop when things feel heavy or uncomfortable. And this is where real change happens, because now you are growing not only in English, but also in who you are becoming. At the end of this journey, you begin to see clearly that you are no longer the same person who once stayed behind excuses and fear. In the past, it was easy to delay your practice and tell yourself that you would start later. Now, you understand that those excuses only kept you in the same place without real growth. You stopped hiding and began to take action, even when it felt difficult or uncomfortable. This change did not happen in one day, but it became real because you chose to move forward again and again. Your English improves because you decided to act every single day, even when your energy was low or your confidence was not strong. You listened to simple audio, repeated useful phrases, read small texts, and spoke with effort and patience. These actions were not always easy, but they were consistent, and that made the difference. Day after day, your mind became faster, and your understanding became clearer. Because of this steady effort, your learning became stronger and more stable over time. Your pronunciation becomes clearer because your voice had time to learn through repetition and practice. Words that once felt difficult now come out more naturally, and you can speak with less hesitation. You may still make mistakes, but they no longer stop your progress or control your confidence. You trust your voice more because you have used it many times and seen improvement. This change is not only about sound, but also about how you feel when you express yourself. Your confidence grows because you prove to yourself that you can continue, even on hard days. You no longer wait for the perfect moment or the perfect mood to begin your practice. Instead, you act first, and your confidence grows after you take action. This makes you stronger, because you are no longer controlled by doubt or hesitation. You understand that real progress comes from what you do every day, not from what you feel in one moment. In the end, you understand one of the most important lessons of your journey. Life did not stop for your excuses, and it did not wait for you to feel ready, but you chose to move anyway. That decision changed your direction and gave you a new path to follow. Now you are not the same person who stayed still and waited for a better time. You are someone who chose progress, and because of that, your English and your voice will keep growing every day.